Tornado touchdown has been confirmed at this instant. You'll have to give me a second. We took a power hit here at the studio, and I have to get all of my ability to look and see things back. Let's see if we're still on the air. You've got to be in your tornado safe place. We're still on the air. This is a tornado emergency for Lee County. This is a tornado ripping through the city of Tupelo as we speak, and this could be deadly. Let's go tower cam. There's a damaging tornado on the ground right now. The significant tornado touchdown just south of our WTVA studios. We may or may not be on the air at this instant. We hope you'll stick with us. Everybody, basement now. Basement now. Let's go. Now.
I went to the office room in the back to pick up my cell phone, and I was coming back, and he was standing there holding the door to the closet open. That's when something just picked me up, and I came back. That's when I came back down, and it peeled all the skin back on my arm, and it was that piece of furniture. And I looked behind him into the living room, and it was full of trees and branches and rain and daylight coming in.
Well, I was with my older brother and my mom at my house on Joyner, and the tornado, we heard that the tornado was coming, so got in the hallway and we braced for it, and then it came, and then it was really loud, and there were trees falling outside and stuff. It was pretty scary.
There was about 13 people in the restaurant, employees, and a few customers. And I said, "Get in the cooler!" And then when I got in the cooler, went to pull the door shut. Well, as I pulled the door shut, all of a sudden you could feel the door being pulled back out, and I pulled it back in. And just like you've heard so many people say before about tornadoes, the proverbial roar of the train over your head.
It's a really scary experience. At first, it was just my brother and I at home alone. My dad walked in at the last minute. We had 8 cats, 2 dogs in one room all together.
And as soon as I got to my door, I looked up, and it was just this wall. It doesn't look like a tornado. It's this slanted wall, just barreling down on my mother's house, all the houses over here, and I slammed the door, locked it, grabbed my cat, got into the hallway and slammed the door, and all of a sudden it just started beating like that. My ears were popping. And
it was a traumatic experience because we were in a storm shelter, and we were in there with a lot of people, and it wasn't a very safe place to be in because it was really old and stuff. So, and all the trees around us had fallen down except for the one tree on top of the storm shelter, and it was right in my backyard, but it wasn't ours. It was a house behind my house. It was a really old house, and it was super loud, and everything was breaking and shaking, and it was life-changing to go through something like that.
I was dialing 911. I thought, the trees are down, the lines are down. And I kept thinking, it was dark and nobody's coming. Why aren't they coming to help? Well, I had no clue that the trees were down all over the neighborhood. Nobody could get through. 2 of the houses, or 3 of the houses right down the street from us were completely wiped out.
We had no idea what was going on. The house was shaking. It was thundering outside. It sounded honestly like a train was just like passing right over our house. And all of a sudden it just stopped, and we looked outside and it had happened. But it was definitely like something that I'll never forget and will always be freaked out about when storms happen.
But in the back of the cooler, there was various shrieks and people praying and all kinds of things. It's amazing how much stuff happens in the matter of 10 to 12 seconds. And when I opened the door, all of the furniture was all thrown against the wall. There was water going everywhere. The smell of gas was just throughout. Initially, I was just dumbfounded. It's kind of like, wow, things are going to really change.
My God, look at that. That's a tornado, man. Look how wide it is. Those cars do all right? Don't anybody get blown off.
Golly. After that, I realized I really didn't have any real problems. I just had to pick myself up and go on. And that's what I've done.
The china cabinet, and we have pictures of it, it was leaning forward. Trees were on top of it. It was like the china cabinet and the chair were holding everything up. It was unbelievable. The 2 pink vases on top of the china cabinet right now were on top of it. Why they were saved, I don't know. We picked them up off the floor. Not a crack or chip on them. Tornadoes are unbelievable.
I guess it just made me count my blessings, made me realize what I need to be thankful for, and realize that material items and worldly possessions don't really matter. It's about the people you have and stuff.
I had 100-year-old oaks, at least 100-year-old oaks outside, and every tree in the neighborhood, I think, fell on this house. That's what one man said. He said, I got the prize for the most trees in my yard.
We had to move because of the damage to our house, and that's really the biggest thing.
I think the first week we were probably in shock, my husband and I. He had lived in this house for over 60 years. He had planted all the trees that came in on the house. He actually planted all of them. I think it was really more traumatic for him.
I don't like to stay at home alone very much by myself anymore. It's affected probably my little brother more than it has me. He gets really freaked out really easily now. He will not stay home during storms. It's always a Rosemary, when are you getting home, or calling my mom type of thing. It could be just a short shower, and he still is so terrified, but.
This guy come out of nowhere. He was soaked. He was checking door to door. Are you all right? Are you all right? He doesn't live here anymore, but he was checking on people, which was nice. And I couldn't get to my parents without winding way down there and going over debris and coming back up. And that's how I found out they were okay. It tore their house down.
I want to sit here and thank President Obama and the all the officials of Tupelo, the state of Mississippi, FEMA, MEMA, and all of the agencies, the Red Cross, who all came to the community to help us in our very difficult period and struggles.
Somebody drove down and stopped at the end of the driveway, and a little boy about 7 years old got out and came down the driveway and handed us an envelope with a $50 bill in it. And that happened a couple of times. Don't know his name or where he was from. I remember hugging him. They just wanted to help. People wanted to help you.
The good parts are I know a lot more of my neighbors now, even on Clayton and around, because I never went to the Joiner Association meetings before. I was always working. Now I know a lot of my neighbors, so it was just phenomenal. Like they say, Tupelo strong.
It was very hard going back to the neighborhood, even after they cleared all the streets and trees, because it didn't look the same. The trees were, all the big trees were gone. You just drive up and you think, this is not my street.
Minimal loss of human life occurred, that people came out and just came to their neighbors' assistance. That was truly, truly amazing and a blessing.
There's so many people that you don't even know, and you might not even know their name. But people, this backyard was swarming with people helping. And you don't even have to ask, they just come.
I walk away from this understanding the importance of placing others before yourself, of understanding that whatever we do in life has an impact on others.
If you can come through it alive, you can survive whatever else comes. Our family are survivors, and there are many other people that are survivors too.
We live in a community that cares, where you put people before things. And sometimes it takes great tragedies to do that. But I think our common decency and our humanity is expressed, and we must always remember that. And these are the deep lessons that we learn from tragedies such as the one that we experienced in April of 2014.